Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video, and the third of 4 new units to come out with the start of the 3rd anniversary, part 1 and 2. We have the new Armored Dragonoid Milim, and she is not a part of the antagonist meta. She is part of her own little, half mini meta that's come out with the rest of the antagonist team. Why? They wanted more money, I guess, and Milim does sell. She's on the OCTAGRAM Demon Lord team, which up to this point didn't have a true leader, and now it does in Guy, who we'll take a look at tomorrow. But she's on OCTAGRAM Demon Lord, Dragon Isekai, and Exalted Champions. She uses a Dark Fist, so a lot of characters use that. She is an EX Unbound character, so she does have access to the 6th and 7th boards, which gets her extra stats when she's got gear on and when she's in Valor Cup, and it gives her extra weak point and super weak point damage. She is a burst type character, speed character, so she also, alongside the new Isis and Mirror Benimaru Kyokyo, gets extra damage between turns 3, 4, and 5. This is a little bit higher than those other two characters because I have more dupes in her. And her ult, instead of being a support ult, is just raw power. So there's no additional effect, it doesn't do anything for the team, it just makes her hit harder. And already, even at not fully duped out levels, she's still doing 30% more base ult damage than a level 120 normal EX character. So she is going to hit slightly harder. She has higher stats than other EX characters, so she will have noticeable damage increase. Her first skill, 0 points. It's free, and it gives her guaranteed pierce and guaranteed synergy for 3 turns. So it really sets you up for using a team that really focuses on pierce and synergy, and makes it very easy to accomplish that. Her second skill, very interesting, is 35 points, and it changes all OCTAGRAM Demon Lord orbs into rainbow orbs, which, if you don't know what rainbow orbs do, they act as if they're a blue, a green, and an orange all wrapped up into one. So if you send a full hand of blues, you get a lot of protection gauge. If you send a full hand of greens, you get a lot of skill points. And you send a full hand of oranges, you get a lot of ult gauge. Well, you get all 3 of those benefits with rainbow orbs, and it's all 6 of them if the entire front line is OCTAGRAM Demon Lord, which there are a lot of. And then on top of that, she gives OCTAGRAM Demon Lord orbs 15% damage for 1 turn, which, if the entire hand is being converted to rainbows, that means that all of your orbs are going to do 15% more damage. And on top of that, just as a cherry, she can do this twice. She's the first battle character with rainbow orbs that can use it twice in a fight. Normally, you could only do it once. Now we've opened it up, which makes her very versatile on stages that maybe only have 2 Demon Lord characters. But if you get up all orbs for them, or even 4 of them, that's going to help a lot. Her Valor trait nerfs oranges. It's not a big deal. Her actual trait gives you more protection gauge than normal by a point every 3 turns. So we can see this in action working very well for us. But let's go ahead and put her into a few OCTAGRAM Demon Lord teams. Alright, there aren't a lot of places that I can take a burst green team right now, so we're going to go into Speed Battle, because Milim is meant to be a speed character. And we built this team, which is being led by the new guy, new Milim, and then we've got 3 other OCTAGRAM Demon Lord characters. Dark Milim, Guy, and then first anniversary Rimuru. Blanca's here as well, because she's got Weakness Strike and Synergy Resistance down. We'll get Synergy Power from Guy. Synergy Rate is already being applied by Milim herself. The ult buff from Dark Milim and the attack buff, if we need it, well, we're going to get it. And then Rimuru, giving all Dark allies crit and crit damage, means that we're going to have the 3 big-time building blocks of damage. Pierce, Synergy, and crit going on. So, in theory, this team should work, and we're going to use Space Milim down here to give us 36 starting points. So turn 1, even though the hand is just a 2-2-2 kind of spread, we're going to change them all to rainbows, because we have 36 points, and our front line will be full OCTAGRAM Demon Lord. Alright, so let's do this. Let's bring you in. We can bring Rimuru in for Guy, because he's got protection gauge underneath him as well. And we still have a full hand, And let's go ahead and use the Guaranteed Pierce, Guaranteed Synergy. It lasts for 3 turns, and it, even at 20 points, it's not that expensive to reapply it. And then full OCTAGRAM Demon Lord convert to rainbows. Excellent. That takes out so much RNG that it's actually kind of astounding. So now we have protection gauge. We've got a lot of points. We've got a decent amount of alt gauge for everybody, and Milim's doing extra damage. And we get another 2/2 spread. Okay, sure, whatever. Let's do it again. There's nothing stopping us from doing it again, so why not? We don't have to use Guy, but I do have alt gauge on greens, which, because rainbows are every color orb, it means that they can be affected by any color charm. So we're going to give these rainbows even more protection gauge, which hopefully helps us get the EX alt. Oh no, very, very close to it. Well, that's unfortunate. I can't use Guy to alt rusher. So, really, it gave us a 2/2 spread again? Alright, whatever. We have an alt swapper in the back, so it's not the end of the world. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We've had 0 RNG so far. Absolutely none. And now, because we have a triple alt swapper in the back, even though they're blue orbs, Guy, with his skill, is going to be able to change all of that, or alt swap away. So we are simply going to do Ewan for Rimuru, I guess. Yeah, perfect. And this one last remaining green orb should get us the EX alt. And our Pierce and Synergy are leaving, but we'll just simply reapply it, because there's nothing wrong with it. We've got a double gauge for Guy, so we have changed everything. That puts the resistance down. Excellent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. There's the EX alt. And then we're going to have 180 points, but obviously we don't have enough points to go around, so we're probably going to have to use a few buffs and then send her away. What is that seal? What is that nerf? Didn't really... Oh, it's the 80-point seal, which technically Blanc is sealed. Not truly a big deal. Let's go ahead and let's bring Rimuru up, and we'll apply the crit, and we'll reapply the pierce. No, we already did that. Never mind. We still have that. So reapply that, and then we can send her away. And we'll use another alt swap, and this will be another full hand of greens, which means that next turn we could use the synergy power, we could use the alt buff, and hopefully we can... Well, do we have enough points for that, actually? 50... 20... Oh, yeah, we should. We should have enough points for that. Because Blanc, we're going to have to use the Lord's Ambition to unlock her 80-point skill seal. And then we have the 55-point buff from Dark Milim. And then... Oh, the bind. Okay, so good thing Rimuru, we used his buff already. Hopefully he has an orb, which he should, because he has an alt. Perfect. Oh, wait. Okay, Blanc, chill out, please. You come in, and we'll use the Guy buff. Boom. And then we'll bring Milim in for... Okay, well, we'll use the Blanc buff then. Boom. And then we'll bring Milim in. And we have enough points to use her alt buff. And we're going to be fully powered up. We have everything going. Let's use Guy to put the element resistance down up here. And let's take a look at what Milim's got. She has a 70% alt buff, which is buffing an 810% alt right there. 810. Damn. And then we've got weakness resistance down, which doesn't matter because she's type neutral. Synergy resistance down, light resistance down for all the elements. And then Milim herself is rocking guaranteed crit, guaranteed synergy. We've got a little bit of an attack buff right there. And guaranteed pierce as well, although no pierce power coming from anything. And then an attack buff because of the alt buff from Milim, from the other Dark Milim. So, let's make sure that her animation is on. And we'll see what she can do in type neutral damage here. Which, I do like this alt. I like the original Dark Milim with her Drago form, and this is just like 2.0 version of that, and I really like it. I like the aesthetic of this outfit, and her wings and her horn and everything. So I'm very happy with both the animation and her art design. And she does type neutral, 528k with synergy, crit, and pierce going on. Now, that doesn't look too impressive because it's not millions upon millions of damage, but I'm sure we could find a place where we could make that work fairly easily. Alright, in an effort to make Milim look, a little bit more impressive, we're going to build a team that's really suited for her in a stage that's suited for her using her own protector. So Guy is giving an extra 100% damage for dark allies, or for Octave Demon Lord, to light enemies, which we are now in Tempered Edge versus Gazel, who is light. We've got a lot of small buffs that are going to be really impactful. Isis is giving the 120% ult resistance down. She's got the magic resistance down. She's got the Drago with Pierce power, so because we're getting Pierce with Milim's first skill, we'll activate that. Dark Milim and Guy are still here for synergy power and ult and attack buff. And then we've got the new Kyokyo, and he's going to give the weakness strike plus 40% magic attack. So we are going to have a lot of small buffs on a burst team in a light stage. We're going to murderize this Gazel. Hopefully we can even get to the ult, but, let's take a look and see how much damage she can do. Alright, so apparently Milim just wants all the orbs, but I can't swap this Milim out, otherwise I wouldn't get a full hand of rainbows. So, out comes Isis, in comes Milim. We'll just have to pray that we get more orbs for our correct Milim later on, and then we'll bring Benimaru in for... I guess we can bring him in for Milim too. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. How much normal damage does she do now here? Okay, 9,000 on a guard, so 18k. And this is going to do almost 40k. And she only gets 1 orb, which we know is not enough. So I'm going to make a cut, try and get 3 orbs for her in turn 2. Alright, finally we got 3 orbs for her. That took longer than I would like to say to get simply 3 orbs for Milim. It's kind of ridiculous. But we have 1 Kyokyo orb, which is not going to fly, so he's going to come out for Dark Milim, and we'll get 3 rainbow orbs here. I don't want to use the Pierce synergy yet, because I don't want to kill him too quickly. So let's send her last. And, oh no, we got to use Guy here to get that extra little bit of gauge. I could have used the extra vitalization from Kyokyo, but oh well, didn't really want to do that. So let's turn this off. We've seen her ult already in the first clip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. There's the EX ult. We're going to have a lot of points. Actually, let's bring Isis up front now for you, just to do a little bit less damage. And we can apply her Drago buff and the Guy synergy buff. And then we just need to get back up to, like, what, 100 points after that? 155 with the Milim buff. Because her buff is free, but the other Dark Milim, not free. 150 right there. Alright, that's fine. We will... Okay, we have the true attribute now, so we're going to do even more damage to Gazel because he's light and we are dark. So we'll go buff, we'll go buff, we'll go buff. And let's see. I think... So we would need 50, 50, and 55. So 155 points on the nuke turn to actually make it work. I think we can get that done. So you come out of here, and you come out of here. Hopefully we don't kill Gazel, and hopefully we do get 155. How much points do we have left over? 95? Oh yeah, we'll be fine. We will be more than fine here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Perfect. Oh, please don't kill. Don't kill. All right, good. Thank you, Isis, for being weak. Thank you very much. All right, we are ready to nuke. We have the maximum points. It's only turn 4. This fight was meant to be a green stacking stage in the first anniversary, and obviously power creep 2 years later is no joke. But I think we'll be okay. So we've already used the Drago, so we can just apply the Isis debuff, and then she can go away. And she has an ult and 2 other orbs. We're not really worried about not having an orb to bring in for Milim. And then we'll just simply use the Benimaru buff and the Dark Milim buff. And we already have the Pierce and Synergy buff on the new Milim. Put element resistance down, and now instead of doing the 500-something thousand damage, we're going to do a lot more. I will guarantee you a lot more here. 1.8 million. That looks a little better. That looks a lot better right there. It could still be higher if we gave her maybe more powerful buffs. Maybe we put her on a stacking team. Is there a stacking stage I can use her in right now? I don't think so. But let's, instead of trying to make her the showcase, let's see how she can support other OCTAGRAM Demon Lord characters with her rainbow orbs for, twice in a fight. All right, so we're gonna go into the Chamber of Memories, where you're meant to use the Warrior's Mind team. It also allows us to use OCTAGRAM Demon Lords. So the Warrior's Mind team does have Guy and Lumi, who are both OCTAGRAM Demon Lord Force, which means that we will have 3 on the front line, and we can bring Space Milim to give us the 36 skill points. So we can simply bring Guy in for Violet, and turn 1, even though it's built for a Guy orb change, we don't actually have to use that turn 1. We could just get some rainbows and supercharge a whole lot of gauge, and this should go, I think, pretty well. Alright, so let's save the Guy orb change a little bit, and let's spend some points on some rainbow orbs here. Now, her Pierce and her Synergy skill, it costs nothing, but it's literally going to do nothing for us, too, because we don't need it here. Let's bring Rimuru in, and then we can have our 2 Earth characters doing damage. We're using Protector Velzard, so Warrior's Mind is getting extra damage against space enemies. And this is a stacking stage, so we're going to have to find a couple uses like this. Well, do we have to use it here quite yet? We don't really have to. We only have a single alt swap in this Rimuru, so like getting alts for multiple people is maybe not the best idea. So let's instead make sure we're getting a Guy alt. And honestly, we don't really need alt gauge on this team to begin with because we brought Rimuru, who can rush alt. But I just, rainbow orbs are fun, and again, there's not a lot of places I could use her to her full power, so I'm going to build a team around her anyways. 73 points, because we didn't skill fuse Lumi yet, not a big deal. We'll take Rimuru out, and we'll do this, and we'll rainbow full hand again, and then we'll take we'll take Lumi out for Violet. That way, it's only Guy getting the maximum alt gauge right here. So Velzard, she's stacking 12% attack on Warrior's Mind, so we're going to look pretty good. 162 points, we've got a gauge and a half, without starting with the big 3 to give us protection gauge, so I think we're looking pretty good. That's a lot of orbs for Violet, which works out for us very well. The True Attribute comes in, but she's not the focus of this team, so now her job is done. Like, we used her rainbow orbs twice, and we still have, traditionally, 5 more turns to go. So is this really the best use case for her? I don't really know if I would call it that, but it is certainly usable if you don't have a second option available. So alt swap, we'll finally use Guy's orb change on turn 3, even though the first hand was meant for his orb change. And I think we just run it like this too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. This gets us a Violet alt, another Guy alt. We can kind of get around that by swapping units in and out now, but only having a single alt swapper does definitely hurt us more than anything. So we will do Violet out for Lumi, and then we could do the single alt swap again. We have extra protection gauge and many extra points, so we can actually use the gimmick from Lumi and do 2 alt gauges for the price of 1. And then use Guy's orb change, and we'll still have a full hand of blues. And we have had very little RNG in this fight so far, and we're halfway through the fight already. And I think that's the power that's going to come from this Milim. I don't think she's the best thing in the world, because she is still limited use. Her first skill does not help the team in any way, shape, or form. It only helps her, and even then, it needs other units to give her additional Pierce power, additional Synergy power for it to really make an impact. But in terms of maybe short-term viability, because she's meant to be on a speed team, 2 turns of Rainbow Orbs is half the fight. right? Because, 4 or 5 turns, that's when you're looking to nuke. And turn 1, you could use it or you could not use it. So the fact that she can do that in a burst setting where she might still not be the focus, but again, if you lack other options and she's available, rainbow orbs are always a good thing. Like, there's never a time where I say, no, I don't want rainbow orbs. You always want rainbow orbs. Let's alt swap. Hopefully we hit Guy. We did not hit Guy. Okay, well, that's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Let's take him. Well, first off, let's use an orb change here. Yeah. Hopefully it hits this. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. That should work. So we'll bring Lumi out for Guy. We'll bring Lumi in for Guy. And then we'll bring Violet in for Milim, who we can then just use her special, or her self-convert, and we'll send her alt, because it's not really going to do much here, except take up space in our hand. And then hopefully next turn we can alt swap Guy away, or we can keep in the back, maybe, depending on what the hand looks like. We might not need his convert. Probably will, though. Alright, guard crit. Well. Ooh, ouch. Please don't hit her again. Okay, well, Violet needs to go away. We know that much. Okay. So Lumi out. Boom. That's a Guy orb change right there. Perfect. Please alt swap Guy now. Please alt swap Guy now. Thank you. You did what I wanted. And now we can just bring Milim in for Violet because she's about to die. And then we can send this Rimuru alt, and he's not going to do much damage either because he hasn't been really buffed at all. And I think we could probably safely nuke next turn, but she still has all of her defense and stuff up. It's going to leave on turn 8. So we have one more turn, but now we have no other alts to even worry about at this point. We just have Guy, who can be easily alt swapped away. So, Milim hasn't been used in a couple turns now. Not truly a big deal. She got us off to a very, very good start, and that's what's most important. And I think for newer players especially, she's going to be really impactful if you somehow pulled her. I don't know how you would, because I've been recommending that people not summon for Milim and Guy, because they don't really fit anywhere. Like, she's really good, but again, after you use the 2 rainbow hands, she's not bringing you a lot of value, and certainly not as much as some other support characters are in the longer run. So I don't know if she's a true big-time investment target for players. She will show back up on other banners, and if this is the level of power creep where she can get 2 turns of rainbow orbs that we're getting now for this kind of anniversary appetizer, as I would call it, because the primetime banner doesn't come out for another couple of days, then I cannot even begin to imagine what actual kind of power that the triple featured unit banner is going to have. And they may just overshadow this Milim. She might just be, an appetizer for the main course. And then you're like, okay, well, appetizer's done. I want the steak, or I want the salmon, or something like that. The roast chicken dinner. Milim is not the roast chicken dinner. Milim, I think, is the pan-seared scallop. I've been watching a lot of Hell's Kitchen. Pan-seared scallops, or the risotto. Not the main course. And with that food analogy out of the way, let's get some buffs going. So we'll use the physical buff and crit resistance down. We will get her out of here for Violet, and we can use the alt resistance down and the crit damage buff. We could use the alt and the guaranteed crits. We can lower her defense by 20. And then we can get 2 more stacks of Velzard here. Yeah, perfect. And we still have so many points left over. We have so many points left over. Oh, this is going to do, normal damage, because it's still the same team. We just, actually, it might do even less damage, because we took out 1 unit. But, I mean, we could do this, and we can have a full hand. We got points for it. Not that Guy's not going to completely murderize this Milim, but hey. Yeah, fine, we can watch it. But this is the final part of the video. We've shown her on 3 teams. She works really, really well. You could put her on Exalted Champions, and that's a burst green team. She'll work there as Rainbow support, or you could make her the DPS character, one of the 2. Guy does 2.4 million. Perfect. That's all we need to do. Did Milim help with that damage? Indirectly. She helped us get gauge for Velzard, which allows us to get stacks of attack, which allows us to get extra skill points early on. But did she directly contribute a damage buff to the team? No. And I think that's the weird medium that she's in. Really useful for utility, not useful for damage. And even when she is the DPS, again, she needs a good supporting cast, because just because you're getting pierce rate and just because you're getting synergy rate is not going to amplify your damage up to millions upon millions. No, you need synergy power, you need pierce power, you need crit damage, you need all these other buffs to make her look good, because she's giving you the basic starting bones of a 100% guaranteed chance to pierce and crit, and nothing else is coming from that. So while I think Milim is cool and fun, I think she is another epitome of a luxury character who is not exactly necessary for any one specific team. But let me know how you guys think in the comments below. Am I overselling her or undervaluing her? What are your thoughts? Let me know. But that's it from me. Take it easy, guys, and I'll see you all later.